It's quarantine. I need to get these filmed. You will not judge me. Um, I don't even really remember reading this next book. Like, even with some of the bad books, I can remember reading them, but this one totally blanked. Dragon Bones is by D.K. Holmberg and is the first in the Dragon Walker series, and it was published in 2018, and it's fantasy. Aside from my rule about picking up books that have not antagonists, that have protagonists that are not white, like if they're black or Hispanic or whatever, I will probably pick up your book and at least read the description. I'll also pick it up if it's got dragons because I so rarely read a good dragon book where someone's not falling in love with a dragon that has a human form and throw dragons. Um, so the main character's name is Fez. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but there's a character in the show, that 70s show, named Fez, so I'm gonna call him Fez because it makes me laugh. Haha. Fez lives in the slums and his shit sucks. He steals valuable things and gives them to a guy named Horace who pays him. He's an orphan and he's got these two dragon daggers that are his only relics of his parents. So Fez, um, I don't remember the book. Fez has a friend named Allison. She's a more skilled thief, and Fez is like stealing something, and Allison is taunting him. Horace likes Allison more, so she gets paid more. Fez is resentful of that. And some dude, his name is Azethon, he admires Fez's skill and is like, steal things from me and I'll pay you so much money. And for some reason, Allison gets really butthurt about him leaving when he wasn't making any money with Horace, so why would he stay? It's not really indicated to me that Allison was in love with Fez. Maybe I just missed that bit. But Fez overhears some people talking about the return of the dragons, like dragon priests, and if the dragon bones are gathered, then they'll be able to do that. He loses one of his daggers at this point. I'm not entirely sure why. Um, so Fez learns that Azathan would like to know what the dragon priests are up to. Dragon bones were instrumental in stopping the dragons in the last war. Azathan sends him to follow some lady with a package, and she loses it. I don't know what that package was supposed to be. He knows something about like Fez's past, and I think it was at this point that I decided that Fez is probably was gonna be a dragon rider. I don't know. Uh, so, uh, yeah, Allison hates him for leaving. Fez goes to see Horace to like help him, I guess. The priest who took his dagger, his name is Talmud. He's gonna go with them, but he requested to have Fez go with him. I think he gives him back his dagger, but I don't remember. Azathan wants the item that the priest is after, and there are no concrete answers with Azathan. So they go, and Fez has a feeling about something bad and is ignored, and whoops, something bad happens. There was a little fight. Everybody died. Fez probably descends from dragon walkers, and I think Talman knows that because of the blades, because I think they're like dragon glass or whatever. I'm pretty sure dragon glass is obsidian, by the way. Um, yeah, so people also keep using Fez's full name, which reminds him of his mother. I don't remember what Fez's full name is. And yeah, he is descended from dragon walkers. I was correct by the end. And I was just bored. This book goes above power 5. I couldn't remember it when I turned my notes from the last book and looked at it. I didn't know what I was reading. Like, I don't know. It was bad. There's too much politics in this book that's about thieves. Um, so Prime books aren't even safe because this was free with Prime books, so technically it's not free, which means that Prime books aren't even safe. I don't know what that means I'm gonna do. So I guess we're just gonna keep going. The next book is called This Is How It Always Is, and it came out in 2017 and is by Laurie Frankel. And according to Google, it's transgender and transsexual fiction, why that's a genre, I don't really understand. It's also domestic fiction, And in case this means anything to anybody, it's part of the Reese Witherspoon Hello Sunshine Book Club. I didn't particularly like it. Um, Rosie and Penn want a girl, and they name because they want Rosie wants to name her Poppy. But after all of the children, which is 4 boys, I think it's actually 5 boys, they have Claude, and Claude is a boy, and yeah, I don't. It was just like a series of events. This is also probably my problem with realistic fiction that doesn't feel. I don't want to read about someone's life. I think that's why I don't like realistic fiction because I also can't really watch vloggers because I don't care about your life. It's just I have a life of my own and I have happenings going on. I have transgender friends. I have gay friends. I don't want to read about your realistic fiction. This is why I like fantasy so much. I'm already in this world. I don't need to. Jesus. So yeah, there's no through line to the story. It doesn't feel like any of the events that they talk about are all connected, also. I think that was probably part of it too. Claude is an early bloomer. She like talks at 9 months and he's walking. Um and that's not like really being an early bloomer. That can just happen if you have older siblings, and Claude has 4 of them. Um, Claude also wants to be a girl. She likes to wear dresses, and Penn tells them bedtime stories, and Claude adds a girl to the story. And Rosie's mom, Carmelo, is worried about Claude dressing like a girl. Um, I don't know what this book was supposed to be about. I didn't get through the entire thing. I don't really even know why I picked it up. I probably picked it up because there was a point where I was looking for books that were about gay characters. But if just because you're transgender does not mean that you're gay, um, like I didn't put in the term queer. I searched gay protagonist, and this is what it gave me. I did not get any indication when Claude was older that she liked, or I guess Poppy, when Poppy was older that she liked girls. But also, how lucky is it that Poppy got older and chose the name that her mom wanted to name her daughter? Also, isn't if you're I don't that just seems weird to me how like if you want a girl, like if you have parents and you want a daughter and like your child ends up being transgender, do you feel vindicated or do you just still love your child? I'm talking about the good accepting parents obviously. I just I don't know. Maybe it's because I don't have kids, but it just comes off weird to me because it feels like it was their child conforming to what their parents wanted and not the child doing what they felt was right for them. So, yeah. Um Also, I think part of my problem with this book is that it didn't have like a center. um, you would figure that Poppy is the center, or Claude is the center for most of the book, because most of the book they're Poppy. You figure that they're the center, but they're not. It's like everybody gets a perspective, and it's really confusing. There's like this whole thing with her brothers, and I'm also not sure what to call them when it's a book, because for most of the book, the main character is Claude, and they're only Poppy at the end of the book. But like it's weird with fiction because when it's like my friend, I'm obviously just going to call them by their name the entire time. If you tell me that's your name, then even when I refer to you in the past, I'm still going to call you that. But this is a book with like a linear structure, a start and an end, and if anybody knows, I'd be happy to know what your opinion is on that. Um, yeah, I don't. I like characters' internal problems, but this just feels like because I never know whose perspective I'm coming at it from. In Game of Thrones, I don't mean to keep making comparisons to Game of Thrones. It's just been on my mind a lot lately. In Game of Thrones, like at the beginning of each chapter, Arya, this is Arya's chapter. Dany, this is Dany's chapter. Jon, this is Jon's chapter. I'm not confused, and I don't know. We're not switching perspectives the entire time. If we need to keep switching perspectives, then it's a new chapter. If it's only 2 pages, it's a new chapter now. Like Brienne, this is her chapter. With this book, it was just, yeah. This Is How It Always Is goes right on top of Dragon Bones. So, yeah,